Welcome back to another Gr86 Cup lap guide. This week we're at Lime Rock Park, and although it's one of the shortest tracks on the calendar, it features the daunting double apex turn 1, which has to be the most challenging corner that I've come across in the Gr86 Cup. And that's because as we're coming across the line, we're at about 120 miles an hour. We want to brake as late as possible and carry as much speed as we can through the first apex and the mid corner, and then get hard on the throttle to get a great exit. But as those of you familiar with the Gr86 Cup, it really likes to oversteer more hard on the brakes. So turning into this first element of the corner, it's so easy to oversteer and spin off the track. So I'm going to use a little trick to help balance my car through the initial portion of this corner. But first, it's going to be a hard brake just at or slightly after the two board in front of us. And as we hit the brakes, I'm slightly turning in towards the apex. We can see it's a hard application of the brakes, but as we come in towards the apex, I'm already starting to use my little trick where I very gently apply the throttle as I trail brake into the apex. What this slight application of the throttle does is it helps to balance the car and to neutralize the oversteer. It also has the added benefit, though, of allowing us to carry more speed into the apex. And as we get through this first apex, I get slightly back to throttle before immediately peeling off the throttle and dropping it down into second gear to get the car to rotate once again. After this slight rotation and hesitation, I'm back hard on the throttle through this second apex, using all of the road on the left-hand side, upshifting into third gear, coming into a really challenging sequence of a left-hander immediately followed by a right-hander. The goal of this left-hander is to carry as much speed through the apex and to be as early on throttle as possible while still being flat out through the right-hander. Through this left-hander, I'm going to be slowly peeling off the throttle just after turn-in. So I turn into the corner and then just very slowly peel off the throttle and very gently dab the brakes. And looking back, I wish I had applied the brakes slightly harder, as that would help me rotate the car slightly more. You can see here, I just understeer ever so slightly. I should be touching my left side tires on this curbing on the inside. We have a little bit of understeer, but I'm back hard to throttle, keeping the car towards the middle of the road, immediately turning right, trying to avoid the curb on the right side, because the car will bounce if you touch this curb, and you'll lose speed all the way down the straight. But we're up into third gear, using all the road on the left-hand side, absolutely flat out through that right-hander. Third gear, see the blue lights, shift into fourth gear, coming into a challenging chicane because it leads up a steep hill. So we want to be on throttle as early as possible. Conveniently, we'll be using this tree on the left-hand side as our brake marker. It's a hard brake, all the way to 100% pressure. But we're going to peel off the brake right about here, and we're already back on throttle before we get to the apex, because again, we want to carry as much momentum up this hill as possible. As we get through the apex, we're back hard on the throttle, trying to avoid those red curbs as much as possible, waiting to see the blue lights to shift up into third gear, and coming into the final two corners on the lap. The first one is a fast right-hander where we're just clipping our inside tire on the apex curb. The earlier we lift through this right-hander, the more speed we can carry on the exit. So we're going to turn in and just lift off slightly before the apex, touch our right side tire on that apex curbing, and get back hard on the throttle through the exit, upshift into fourth gear, and then we're going to come down this very steep hill. But I can guarantee you, as steep as it feels on iRacing, it always feels much steeper when you're going up it in a cycling race. But this hill is also our entry into the final corner on the lap. We want to try to carry as much speed through the apex as possible because it leads onto the long front straight. So we're going to use the compression as the road flattens out to give us a lot of grip on entry. So as we enter this corner, we're going to be turning in just where the road starts to flatten out. And this will give us a ton of grip on entry, and we're going to peel off the throttle as we turn in to help rotate the car in towards the apex. We're going to touch our right side tires on that apex curbing, upshifting into fifth gear, using a little bit of that grass on the left-hand side because you don't get a 1x off track there. And we're going to come across the line to set a 1:59.25. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate the love. I really appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you have a great week of racing, and I will see you guys next time.